Hello and welcome to Tunisia. Today we're going to be playing as the English forces, the UK, pardon me. And we've got quite a lot going on here. Now, we're supposed to take the Cactus Farm. This is actually a very important strategic area, and I did want to take a few infantry units to try and take it, but the fact is we're being attacked by Germans over here, and we've got Goddard leading quite a large group of tanks, essentially along the line here. So what I think I'd like to do, I would personally like to separate these tanks, but we can't do that because then they're going to be away from their commander. Although I've been known to do crazier things in this game. So you know what? I'm going to take one of these tanks, just one, push them over here, and assist Barnes and Chapman with their advance on Cactus Farm. We definitely need to take that area. Although maybe we'll send Burke as sort of a test subject. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I think it's going to be necessary. In fact, what am I doing? We shouldn't do that. Shame on me. Instead, we'll just send them over there to do a covert move, so that if there are any enemies at the Cactus Farm, we will spot them fairly soon. So guys, this is a much prettier part of Africa than what we're used to seeing in these battles. We've got some actual savanna here, some nice lakes, etc. But it also is quite open. It's quite an open battlefield, and it's quite easy for the enemy to spot us and vice versa. At the same time, they've got some nice fields over here where they could hide quite a lot of infantry. So I am going to continue moving those boys. We are playing with the UK forces at this point. We do have Americans in Tank Warfare Tunisia too, but I decided to give our good old English chaps a chance and see how they do in combat. So of course that covert move begins, and as always in this game, guys, we will return when contact is established. Alright guys, contact has been established. The first of the German panzers showing up there. And the problem here is, of course, they outgun us every time unless we manage to maybe get a shot through their side armor. So I'm actually tempted to take a few of these tanks and try to go ahead and speed through or speed past the enemy. Let's see if we can do it. Again, very risky, but I'm going for it. I'm going to take this guy and this guy right here. It will take them a while to comply with my orders, but for now, of course, we just want all of our tanks focused on the enemy. Let's actually go ahead and turn these guys around. I don't know what you're thinking, but let's see what sort of enemy tank we're actually facing. Looks like probably a Panzer IV. I think definitely a Panzer IV. And with that many hits, oh, come on. You can do it, boys. This has to be enough to destroy her. We've got some more tanks approaching, guys. We want to be very careful, especially since we started advancing with these bad boys here. So you know what? I'm switching targets with them. Let's have them just focus on the enemy here and pretty much target all fire toward that tank. You know what? Now we actually have a shot at the side of these tanks. This is a perfect time to start getting some shots on them. There we go. I'm not even watching what our infantry is doing. I'm going to pause here just to take a look over there and see if we have any contact at Cactus Farm. I've also pushed forward these infantry units, but no, it doesn't look like we do. This is going to be purely a tank battle, I think. And we're not even dug in here. Keep it up, boys. For king and country. That's one dead German tank. Beautiful. One of them is gone. So far, we are continuing to fight against this one as well. I'm just going to keep this unit here. As you can see, I just want him to sort of change his trajectory. There we go. Another Hun down. 2 German tanks, guys. Panzer IVs that we have eliminated. Actually, that's definitely not a Panzer IV. Or is it? You tank buffs, let me know down below. It looks like we've just killed the crew. The engine is still running, and that thing is going to fall back just a little bit. Now, I'm also seeing some infantry there in the distance. That's making me a little concerned that they might go for an infantry attack, but I'm pretty sure we've got machine guns. I'm almost certain we have machine guns on these Churchill 3s. So again, we should be able to stop most infantry assaults. If not, even our just continuous explosive rounds should do pretty well. But you know what? Our main target is, of course, going to be enemy armor there. Let's go to our infantry. Still no contact there. Cactus Farm is ours. And what I'm going to do, there's this area over here that, I don't know if it's a cornfield, etc. But I'm going to fast move my units into this area. Let's get a look there. Can anybody identify? No, it's definitely not a cornfield. Maybe an olive grove. So we're going to move in there and use that as cover. I'm hoping that's sufficient cover for our men. But of course, we still have plenty of enemy armor to worry about. What I'm wondering is, should we grab these guys here and go ahead and push on the enemy flank? Just don't know. Looks like that's what this guy's already doing. You know what? I'm going to let him continue. Gonna fast move over there, and I'm trying to also avoid the German infantry here. I'm not sure if they have a Panzerstreck or anything like that. A Panzerfaust, certainly possible, so we want to be very, very careful. As you can see, desert camouflage doesn't work in every single part of Africa, particularly the areas that are less arid and, you know, have quite a lot of rainfall here. So we can spot them pretty easily, those infantry approaching. Here we go. Come on, boys. You're getting close, lads. Montgomery would be proud. I'm going to order just a fast move at this point. Not the fastest vehicle in the world, of course. We've got some dead Germans over here. But hopefully once we break that hilltop, we should be able to see that enemy tank and make short work of him. Looks like we're even taking a look at infantry units over there, perhaps. Yup, that machine gun is working. Look at that, right over the enemy. That was a pretty nice visual there, I must admit. Still firing his machine gun. I might want to change his trajectory pretty soon, because I need his focus to be completely ahead. Let's just make sure he's facing the right way. And again, at this distance, it doesn't seem like our tanks are going to do much damage. Although, you know what? An advance at this point might actually not be such a bad idea. Keep that enemy tank focused on these guys crossing, and take away some of the focus from the tank approaching on his flank. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm hoping that's our smoke and not enemy mortar fire. I don't think it is. Got a lot of men moving in there. Just see if they're taking fire. It doesn't seem like it. I think they'll make it to the Olive Grove without much difficulty. The question is, can they really do anything? Because again, most of the enemy force that I've seen compromises of tanks. What we can do is use our infantry to go ahead and take the objectives here. Here we go. We've got 2 more tanks acting weird. I think this guy's fine. He's a bit far from the enemy, but he's also quite safe from the enemy. And this old fellow should be reaching that position very soon. A nice side shot through that Panzer IV's armor. Again, his focus is elsewhere. So I'm giving him a target of opportunity here. Here we go. It wasn't him that got the hit, but another tank got a pretty nice hit there. Maybe even knocked off some pieces from this thing. He is turning. You know what? Let him take all the time he needs. But I think he still needs to get a little bit closer to get the perfect hit. Although that tank might be destroyed by the time he makes it there. Let's push. Come on. Fast move. Fast move. Get that engine going, son. Oh, he spotted us already. We should be spotting him. Maybe this was a mistake. Got my targeting reticule on him, if you want to call it that, and, of course, I want to turn that turn around completely. He's aware of us right there, big time. I think the Germans are aware that at a distance we're not much of a threat, but up here, close and personal, we can absolutely destroy their tanks, especially the Panzer IVs. Come on, man, come on! Definitely got a target, but I think he's going to break cover. He's going to get into cover way too... Yeah, he's absolutely in cover. We're chasing, guys. I'm pushing for an attack here. Let's get aggressive. We've also got the rest of those tanks coming forward, and it looks like the enemy is actually offering us a ceasefire, but I am not accepting a ceasefire right now. I want to destroy that final tank, and preferably also take all those areas over there. Still no infantry contacts. Definitely spotted tanks over there by the bump area. Let's see how our infantry are faring through the undergrowth here. I was also concerned because this looks like it could be trenches. So we got to be careful. There could be enemy trenches in this area. And obviously, if they spot our infantry, I'm not going to say that would be no match for them, because we probably could overwhelm them, but we would lose quite a few men. So I'm going to get close. No, it's risky, but if we could take out some targets of opportunity, that's only going to help. He's still not spotted that tank. He's well hidden, isn't he? Here we go. Yeah, he's gone deep into the olive groves there. Good shooting, son. Good shooting. I think... No, that's not a kill. I was hoping it was. Although some excellent shots there. Actually ripping through this poor farmer's grove. Still don't have a full visual on him because of the fog of war. There might actually be more than one tank here. There might be 2 tanks in this area. Now, thankfully, Goddard, as well as the rest of these guys, are approaching, and I think this is really where the cleanup operation begins. Man, power to the Churchill. I'm not a massive fan of the Churchill, but when it works great. And the frontal armor is pretty decent on these tanks. In terms of course, the firepower that we're using right now, not the greatest, but pretty much everybody had an issue with German tanks at this period. So you can see he's backing up. He wants out. That Panzer IV does not want to be destroyed. It's also, for some reason, they're popping smoke up here. That could be movement by enemy infantry, or maybe just a misfire by mortars. So really, I'm not too worried about that, especially since the enemy already asked us for a ceasefire. But I want to come out of this with a full group of tanks still alive. And there we go. He's dead. No, he's got to be. I think he abandoned the vehicle. So I did not see the targeting reticle. Nope, he's still alive. This sneaky little... Why, how dare you, sir? Taking some shots there from the right. Looks like we've got potentially an anti-tank rifle. Yep, that's what that is. That is definitely an anti-tank rifle. Look at that thing. How have we not destroyed him yet? How many rounds have we fired? Got this, man. You got this. I'm wondering if we should just have him stop here. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. Just have him stop completely. He knows where the enemy is. He's also spotted another Panzer IV over there behind the bump. That's kind of where we thought they were anyway. But eliminating them would be absolutely wonderful. Load! Of our tanks advancing there. And again, a lot of smoke back here. I'm not sure what that's about. There's a tremendous amount of smoke over there. Let's take a look at that thing. Let's see if we've at least, like, damaged the side of it. Because he's taken so many hits. He's leaking fuel. It's a very good sign, guys. He is leaking fuel. One spark could set this guy alight. And you can see all of the rounds all over his tank. I mean, he has been hit with several rounds, many of them penetrating, but it's incredible. The crew still remains in that vehicle, at least for now. Keep up the fire. Surrender when you're prepared, Germans. We don't want to have to kill you. Look at that. We're still hitting the guy that escaped here to the olive grove. Got to get a kill on him. That round bounced right off. And I think we got him, boys. We got the escape artist there. No, he's back. He keeps returning. As soon as we think we've completely killed his crew, he returns to cause us more problems. So now we've got, of course, 2 or 3 tanks firing at this guy. But this just goes to show you at this distance, we might not be able to even pierce that German armor. We're hitting him in the back as well, which should absolutely knock him out. Side armor's pretty strong. His frontal armor's pretty strong. But I think the issue here is distance. We've got to get close up if we want to destroy him. For that very reason, I think I'm going to push forward with this fellow here. And we're going to do the same with Goddard's tanks. Just go ahead and do a full offensive. I was hoping our infantry would be able to snag these points, and they can, but they just took them so long to get over here, let's be honest. So I'm going to head out here to the barn with a few of Burke's men. I'll leave Chapman behind just to see what the situation is, and it looks like for sure the enemy has the tank there, but I don't see infantry. So if we can grab these objectives, that would be beautiful. See, now we're closer, getting some somewhat more devastating shots. Should be enough to take this guy out right here behind the bump. Come on, son. Alright, we've got another German vehicle there. Probably another German AT rifle. I'm not going to worry about him too much, especially since the front of our tanks are facing them. But I'm amazed. I mean, he has lost, parts of his tank. He's lost both tracks. He has fuel leaking. But he's still alive. Hopefully not for long. Take a look at Burke's boys here. Still not taking any fire. Nobody's taking cover. No real shots, unless they're coming from enemy panzers. I am starting to see a few infantry, though, over here. Yep, that's, oh my goodness, quite a lot of enemy infantry. Let's prepare our boys for combat here. Turn towards them. We don't have the greatest cover for these guys out on the rim, but we gotta... This is what we have to work with, so let's go for it. Exchange fire, boys. Just gonna stop everybody's movement right there. They are kind of over there on the rim of the hill, but we should be able to spot them. And didn't we also bring up an additional tank? I don't see him. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. He's all the way back at the Cactus Farm. We actually have 2 tanks over at the Cactus Farm. We'll push them forward as soon as we can. But hopefully right now our infantry can do quite a number on that, on the enemy infantry here. Come on, boys, return fire. Got one fellow here with a machine gun on his back, but he needs to deploy that thing. And oh my goodness, the enemy tank just cut right through that guy. We can't get too close. That's why we have to fire from the safety here of the olive grove. Just stop. Alright, we've got Goddard approaching here, really trying to clean up this mess. But look at that, even right up close and personal to the enemy tank. We're going to stop right there. This is like as close as we can get. Unless we try to get behind him. We will try to destroy him, of course. But it looks like he's focusing on the first tank to retreat. We'll try to have him focus on this guy. I think we're out of command points. He is not interested in following that order. And it makes sense, because finally, I mean, the enemy crew has finally abandoned. That took forever for them to get out of there. I think they just died, actually. I don't see that hatch open. So they are just dead. And as soon as we get a fire going over here, that will light this thing up, and she'll be in even worse shape, let's say. But, again, we've learned our lesson. We got to get close. So let's just keep on pushing. Alright, Chapman. We don't want to go deal with that tank yet, but I think he's probably focusing on our armor. Unless, look at this sneaky, sneaky guy. He's actually using his turret and his machine gun to fire at our infantry here. Although, guys, we have broken through. The enemy is now retreating. And only now did we actually find a few enemy infantry over here breaking the ridge. Hopefully it won't cost us too dearly. I wanted to come out of this operation with really minimal casualties, as we started really, really well here. You don't usually start that well against German tanks. Get them, boys.
Enemy approaching.
Look at that. Actually, I think most of that German infantry group was wiped out already. We're not going to have much to worry about. There are still a few stragglers out here, but one of them just got hit, and I would assume that's probably just vehicle crew. No, actually, he's still alive. One of the unluckiest Germans here currently in our game, hiding there in the field. We will eventually get him, but what I really want to do is completely annihilate that last Panzer. Still some machine gun fire. You want to be a little careful. Guys should still keep their heads down. And of course, were still a few unlucky British soldiers. Specifically this one. This guy took a direct shot. You can see there one hit in his arm, one hit in his leg. A direct shot from that tank's machine gun. That might be a survivable wound. Well, leg, arm. Doesn't look like any vitals were hit, but he's losing his arm more than likely. That thing's probably torn off, and will more than likely die of blood loss. But let's hope he survives. He was kind of our most obvious casualty. Still push and try to grab parts of the barn here. But I think as far as enemy infantry goes, yeah, there's still a few of them, like one or two. But they are pretty ready to give up. Incredibly, that tank withstood to the very end. And one of the German infantry that's still fighting, brave man, he's bleeding all over the place. Alright, there we go, guys. A total victory. Casualties, we had 4 guys killed, but the enemy, of course, 16, and 24 wounded on the enemy side. But the real winner here are the lost vehicles on the enemy side. So, of course, 3 destroyed vehicles on the enemy side, 1 damaged. But we did have 3 damaged tanks. So, of course, getting into a battle with Panzer IVs here in North Africa, it's still going to leave a few bruises. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and of course comment down below. The comments really help, guys, so please do comment, and I'll catch you in the next video.